What's up guys, Tobias here, bringing you my second part of my FIFA 12 analysis of career mode. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but I did a first part which has just got under 25,000 views, so if you haven't seen it, then it may be an annotation of this video. If not, the link of it will be in the description below. While I tell you about the new features that have been released in FIFA 12's career mode, I am just letting you watch my first Champions League game with QPR, which I am currently playing with in my own career mode. So yeah, I don't know if you knew, but on the 11th of July, June or July, I can't remember either one, EA released a podcast which they do every single week, but one was especially featured all on the new stuff that's going to be on the new career mode in FIFA 12. Unfortunately I've been on holiday, so I wasn't able to make a video on it, but now I'm back. I listened to the podcast last night, which was around 45 minutes, and I just noted down a few notes to bring to you guys, because I know a lot of you wanted to be kept up to date with the new features that are going to be brought along in the new career mode, as my first part of this series, I'll call it, went down with quite success. So I'm going to be talking about 4 key features: press interaction, transfers, player impact engine, and commentary features. To start off with then, press interaction. This is a new feature they've brought into career mode. It is the talk to press. EA only just decided for it to be added into FIFA this year. It only just made it. However, it is going to be the major thing they're going to be working on for FIFA 2013, which is next year. So this is the release. This basically enables you to release news to the press. It's an option called Talk to Press, which is going to be on the main hub of your career mode, which lets the manager, i.e. you, talk to the press regarding players or previous results or even upcoming results. You can make comments about your personal players, or you can even target or even just praise other managers of different clubs, and they also said in the podcast that you could even play mind games with other managers. So you can't actually choose what to say, you can just choose what intent it has. So for example, you can't choose exactly what's going to be said in the papers, but you can select the option praise manager of Blackpool, for example, or you can say talk about squad fitness, talk about new signings, and then the computer will automatically make a quote for you, which will then be published into the papers. So they said, as you know, in the main hub at the moment, it gives you the latest news, and it's got the column of all the news that's been going on in the week, and most of them are going to be, they're all the same in FIFA 11. Always, I don't know, gigs sidelined or something like that, so they're always the same. But so yeah, it's going to be published in there, and then it's going to be in the paper, which may come up after the game. That sometimes happens, like you know, when you get knocked out or you win a cup in Ultimate Team, it will come up in a paper. This can then affect your squad's players, which is kind of interesting. It could either demotivate them if you've done something bad and you've been abusive to other players or managers of different squads, or it can either inspire them if you've been saying how well the squad's been performing recently. But you can't actually get this feature in every single game, only major games, i.e. cups and derbies. Secondly then, transfers. There are a lot of transfer issues with FIFA 11. People are being annoyed. Players can complain about not being played. They can apparently kick off on a mad one. They can write to you and start complaining about all sorts of things about not being played, or things they're not happy with within the club. So yeah, it said in the podcast that they will contact the manager with their feelings. If you do play career mode a lot, I know I do, you will know that you don't actually have to rotate your players a lot. They'll still play every game and play well, but in FIFA 12 you're going to have to rotate them for injury and morale reasons. If you don't, then they're just literally not going to play. And then potential growth is also going to be considered into value, and also the age is going to make a difference on how much the player's worth. For example, I bought Ramsey, who is potential growth is 86, and I bought him when he was only like 75 for like $1 million. Instead of this, in FIFA 12 it's going to be like 10 million, because it's going to take into account how much they're going to grow in the future. So that would be rather good. So it's good they're trying to change around transfers. Other clubs will actually approach you a lot more, trying to buy your players off you. They're going to be more tactical about it. And also a new thing, if someone wants to buy your players, you don't have to be you don't have to give a yes or no straight away. In FIFA 11 you had to say yes, accept, or decline straight away, and if you went off the offer, then that was it, you'd automatically declined it. In FIFA 12 you don't have to make this decision straight away anymore. It can either be yes, no, or the new option is stall, which is just wait out. You can wait up for, I think it's 2 weeks. So yeah, that's pretty good. Also, what was mentioned, bids are not held on budget. You can put in as many bids as you can, and you can even go over budget. However, when it comes to giving a contract to a player and signing it, it will then be refused due to budget allocation, and you don't have the funds. Also, a new feature, there's a lot of new features if you haven't noticed already. In loans, if you had a player on loan, at the end of that loan they'll just go straight off back to their original club. In FIFA 12 they've added an option to put in an offer for the player if you wanted to buy them. I know that's good because in QPR when I first started there are a lot of players on loan in QPR, and then at the end of the season when I won it and went straight into the Premiership, they all just went, and I had to sort myself out of buying new players to cover their positions. But now you'll be able to just put in a bid for that player and contact the club and negotiate buying that player. Throughout the season, transfer budget will increase. I know in FIFA 11 the budget is the same every single season. For example, if you finish 15th and then one season and you finish 5th the next season, your the budget you're given at the end of the season will be the same. However, they've said transfer budget will increase with performance, which is good. And then the major aspect of transfers is deadline day, which is going to take place twice a year, which is 8 hours of game time each, so that's 16 hours. Each hour advances through, you have to go through advance each hour, and it's extremely realistic to what real life deadline day is. You know how everyone's on Sky Sports keeping up to date, refreshing the page every 10 minutes waiting to see what the latest transfer is. So you will have 8 hours of playing time to try and sign your latest signings on the last day, which is going to be extremely great, and I can't wait for that aspect. So that's transfers then, and then you've got player impact engine. Apparently, I'll quote what they said, no two tackles will be the same. I know in FIFA tackles like the one you literally just seen, and that one look that's coincidence, 2 tackles there. I don't know what player that was, I think it might have been Dobson, just tackled 2 tackles exactly the same. They get extremely boring, but apparently with the new impact engine, no 2 tackles will be the same. And then injuries are going to be a lot more severe and longer. I know in FIFA 11 they were normally not even a week, you'd get them back by the game for the next season, for the next weekend, sorry. But apparently they're going to be a lot more serious, and they're going to be a lot more lengthy, which is going to be a problem if you don't have the subs because you're not rotating, which you need to go and take into account. And then a new thing which is in FIFA 11, but they've been saying it's new in FIFA 12 for some reason. When a player gets hurt, not injured, the physio will contact you and say the player's ready to play, however it's a risk. If you want to play him because you don't have any subs, then you can play him, but it will risk injuring him even though he's only just hurt. So they've said that's going to be new in FIFA 12, even though that's already in FIFA 11. And then commentary, and getting on to commentary, for those of you that don't know, the 2 commentators this year are Martin Tyler and Alan Smith, for obvious reasons that I'm sure you're all aware of. If you haven't heard, they've already released some quotes you can listen to of the commentary, and I've listened to them yesterday, and I think they are extremely realistic. When you listen to them, it actually sounds like you're listening to a real football match of the Premiership, not a video game. So they've said they've added a lot more variety to the commentary, because I know the commentary on FIFA 11 was extremely repetitive, especially on career mode, when they said how games aren't won on paper. That seems to be the commentary at the start of the last 8 games I've played. So that's getting extremely boring, but it's going to be said that has changed now, and it's going to be all new and much modern, and from what I've heard it sounds great. And then second, last but not least, CPU teams, which are teams in the career mode that are controlled by the computer, can be bought. Sorry. Your team can't actually be bought, but apparently the other teams can be bought, and even they can put the companies or businessmen which have bought them can actually put in sponsorships to change your stadium name for money. However, that can't happen to your controlled club. So that's all the new aspects I'm going to cover in this video. I've got a few questions to answer from my last video I did. If you watched the part 1, someone asked if there is going to be a national manager mode, because I know there was half of it in FIFA 10 where you'd miss players for national duty, but they haven't mentioned anything about national manager mode. It may be in there, may not be in there, I'm not sure, you're going to have to wait. Player development, in FIFA 11 it used to be players would increase like 1 rating over a season, which would be absolutely shit, but apparently they've worked on that, and players are going to grow quite a lot in 1 season, which is going to be good. For example, I bring back Ramsey at the end of a season. If he's got the golden boot, then he could increase around 5 ratings, so he could go up to 80 in 1 season, which is going to be excellent. Someone said, can the computer buy your players? As mentioned, yes they can. Apparently they're going to be extremely tactical about it. They'll put in bids for lower than what they're worth, and then if you decline it, then you run the risk of them not contacting you back to see if they'll put in another offer. And finally, if the Champions League will be in FIFA 12. They haven't been mentioned, so I can't be 100% on it, but it was in FIFA 11, so I don't see why it wouldn't be in FIFA 12. But it was called the Champions Cup, which is basically just a Champions League where you go into the group stage first and then you'd progress all the way to the final. So that's all I've got for this analysis of career mode for FIFA 12. If you did like it, please do thumbs up, it helps me out a lot and gets my video out there. And until my next video, I will speak to you all later. Cheers guys.
The emphatic final score. Well, for this team, it seemed to be the real deal today.